following is a video about trigonometry. Trigonometry studies the relationships between angles and side lengths in a right triangle. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to label this right triangle, this angle here with a 90-degree angle. I'm going to then call this angle down here x degrees. Okay, we don't know what it is. And let's label the sides of this right triangle. We know that the longest side is called the hypotenuse. We know that this side is opposite of the angle x. So this side that is not in any way touching the angle x, we call this the opposite side. And this side down here, we're going to call the adjacent side. And the adjacent side, the adjacent means next to. Okay, so it's next to angle x. This is always the hypotenuse, and this is always the opposite side. So usually what we do is we will use a shorthand for this, and we'll call this, instead of writing out hypotenuse all the time, we will write the words HYP to designate hypotenuse. On this one over here, we don't write out opposite, we'll just write out OPP. And then this side down here, adjacent, we'll call that ADG, or ADJ, sorry. So this is the main picture that we always kind of want to have in our head when we're talking about trigonometry, and I'm going to show you how we use this here in a second. So let's go to the next slide. And what we have here is we have three different trigonometric functions. We have a sine function, we have a cosine function, and we have a tangent function. Okay, now I have three triangles here. Okay, all of these trig functions are different things. So now, what I want to show, let's go ahead and just draw that triangle that we had before. Call all of these right angles. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do, say that this is angle x, so label that as angle x. And then if that's angle x, we know that this is the hypotenuse, this is the opposite side, this is the adjacent side. Okay. Now, what I could do with a sine function is I could say this. I would say sine, S-I-N, of angle x degrees is equal to the ratio of the opposite side length divided by the adjacent side. And so I would write that like this. I would say the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. Okay? So given angle x, we take the ratio of opposite side over the hypotenuse. I think I said adjacent earlier, but it's really the hypotenuse. So then what I can say down here is I can come down to cosine, and I can call this angle x as well, call this the opposite side, call this the adjacent side, and then call this the hypotenuse. Okay, and if I were to take cosine of some angle x, I would say cosine of an angle x degrees, then I would get the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. And then, if I talk about the tangent, well, the tangent, I'm going to draw the same picture. I've got, call this angle x, call this the opposite side, call this the adjacent side, call this the hypotenuse. Okay, so if I were to say the tangent of some angle, so tan of angle x degrees, would then give us the opposite side over the adjacent side. Okay. Now, you're probably wondering, like, okay, wait a second, what is he talking about? There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. Well, there is a lot going on here, okay? This is a process. But there is a way to remember sine, cosine, and tangent, and remembering the ratio that you get if you take sine, cosine, or tangent of some angle x. So what I can do is we kind of have this mnemonic device here that we use. And because if I look at a sine function, then I see that sine, S, has the opposite over the hypotenuse. And so it has the words, makes the words so. Okay. Now, if I look at the cosine function, the cosine function um, has a C, an A, and an H. Okay, so then I can come around here and I can say, well, those make the word C-A-H, CAH. So we have CAH, and then we have our tangent function. Okay, and tangent has a T, an O, and an A. Now, what I can do is I can come over here and I can write the word T, oops, I can write the word T-O-A. Now I get these words, so, ka, toa. And this is really a powerful thing. If you can remember this, and it's pretty easy to remember, so, ka, toa. Okay, and for our purposes, this is pretty much what I want you guys to be able to do. But if we use a sine function, we use the opposite side over the hypotenuse. The cosine function is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Tangent is the opposite side over adjacent. Now, it's kind of one of those things where the way I remembered this is that I had this teacher in high school who'd kind of chant it, and he would kind of chant this SOKATOA, SOKATOA. And so I kind of like envision this like primal human like indigenous person who is just chanting something around a fire because they just realize that they get all these crazy numbers and all this stuff kind of all these this brand new study of mathematics simply based off of SOKATOA. So I'll make some more videos on how I actually use SOKATOA. But the reality is that if you remember the SOKATOA, then this will be a really fun adventure, and I look forward to it.